This title makes me smile. The two-time Trump voters who have had enough. Now that he's a convicted felon, he's completely unfit. The day after former President Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies, I sat down for a focus group with 9 voters from across the country who voted for him twice and don't want to vote for him again. They are not, however, all committed to voting for Joe Biden instead. These are the double haters, the chunk of voters who are dissatisfied with both candidates and are trying to decide which one is less bad. Although many of them are out on Trump, they're struggling to get there on Biden. If Biden is going to win in November, these are the voters he must persuade to hold their noses and vote for him. And there's reason to believe that Trump's recent felony conviction just made it a little bit easier for them to do it. Many of the voters in this group had familiar stories. They supported Trump in the past as the lesser evil. They couldn't stomach Hillary Clinton in 2016. They were lifelong Republicans who couldn't imagine voting for a Democrat. Some of them remember watching The Apprentice and admiring Trump for his perceived business savvy. But the events of January 6th and general fatigue with Trump's antics have made these voters not very likely or not at all likely to vote for him again in 2024. I made up my mind quite a while ago that I wouldn't vote for him, Alex from Illinois said, and I just can't bring myself to do it. Chuck from Ohio agreed. There's no change in my desire to vote for Mr. Trump, he continued. I'm not voting for the man, period, end of discussion. For many of these people, Trump had already crossed a red line. His conviction was just more evidence of his deficient character and his unfitness for high office. And his lack of remorse was another log on the fire. There's no ownership whatsoever. It's always someone else's fault. That's Eileen from Ohio. Michelle from Florida said, I want criminals to go to jail. That extends not just to Trump, but to Democrats like Senator Bob Menendez. Many talked about being repelled by Trump's disrespect for institutions. Some said they believed that the trial was politicized, a con job by Biden's DOJ, and yet most have faith in the process. While allowing for some political bias in the system, by and large, they accepted the legitimacy of the guilty verdict. I thought the trial was highly politicized, but in the hands of the jury, both sides had the chance to present their case, Ryan from Colorado said. And that's ultimately how it should have been done. Michelle agreed. I'm tired of the nonsense and I believed the testimony. And that's why I'm happy that the jury found him guilty. And I think now that he's a convicted felon, he's completely unfit. They may not be Trump voters anymore, but many of them are not fans of Biden. When asked to grade Biden's performance, 3 gave C's, 3 gave D's, and 3 gave F's. Only one admitted to ever voting for a Democrat, and Alex, the Illinoisian, said flatly, I will never vote for probably a Democrat in my life. Their complaints with Biden ran the spectrum. Stop giving away free money, Ryan said. Chuck wants to see Kamala Harris replaced as vice president. He thinks Liz Cheney would be better. One said Hunter Biden's conduct speaks poorly to Biden's parenting skills. Some of them are third party curious, but they are wary because, as one said, I view any third party candidate as kind of a vote for Trump. When asked how they would vote if the election were held today, only 2 said they would vote third party. One said they would abstain, and another would write in a candidate. The remaining 5 plan on voting for Biden. This isn't because they are fans of the president. Few have positive things to say about Biden's policy agenda, but they view him as the more palatable of 2 bad choices. As Chuck put it, I don't like Mr. Biden because I'm concerned about his age. He may die in office, and I think his vice president is not someone I want in the Oval Office either. But between the president and the vice president, they're still both better than Mr. Trump. Spending 90 minutes with this group helps explain how the double haters are thinking about this race. They're not all united ideologically, but they're united in trusting the judicial system over Trump, at least for now. These voters don't speak for the majority. As swing voters, they're marginal, but the margins will decide this race. The conviction confirmed what many of them already knew. Trump is unfit for office. Whether or not voters like this go home to Trump or choose to support Biden over the next 5 months will be a big factor in deciding the election. A lot of variables are involved, whether Trump's daily chaos starts to make more of an impression, Biden's performance in the debates, prices and interest rates, the salience of issues such as immigration and abortion, and what Trump's sentence ends up being. For now, Biden's team should capitalize on the verdict by trying to come across as the sane, pro rule of law candidate. And the conviction fits well with the president's message of don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative. He can now stand on the debate stage and say, America isn't the kind of country that will put a convicted felon in the White House. If in our present political climate, nothing is this positive, Biden's ability to make such a clear statement is certainly a plus. So it's going to be very interesting. The extra MAGA people are voting for Trump no matter what. Then there are people like me, I'm voting blue no matter who. I would vote for a half-dead goat before I vote for Trump. There is 0% chance, like zero. So there are people in certain camps that you know that you can't move. It's the mushy people in the middle. It's the disaffected Republican voters. It's the suburban housewives that are seeing up close and personal how these extra restrictive forced birther laws are harming women. It's the independent voters. Who are they going to vote for? That is the group that is up for grabs. And I would like to see, I'm very, very interested in what's going to happen with this upcoming election. Do you know who you're voting for? Jump in the comments, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Guys, I'm starting to think you're in a cult. So if you believe in states' rights, except when a jury in that state convicts your nominee for president, you might be in a cult. If you claim you back the blue but want to defund the police when the police go to your nominee's house to retrieve national security secrets, you might be in a cult. If you're supporting a guy whose felony convictions prevent him from getting a security clearance, you might be in a cult. And if the guy you're supporting for president has felony convictions that prevent him from going to Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Cambodia, Canada, Chile, China, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Egypt, Ethiopia, Hong Kong,
my motion
India,
takes precedent.
Indonesia, Iran, Ireland, Israel, Japan, Kenya, Macau, Malaysia, Mexico, Morocco, Nepal, New Zealand, Peru, Philippines, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Taiwan, Tanzania, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, and the UK, you might be in a cult.